Hi, I'm Angified. I started Angified Presents.
We share the love of music.
It has been medicine and therapy, and nothing else worked.
It has saved many of us. With mental health, we need to open our eyes.
Hurt people hurt people.
We ask that you listen, comprehend, and relate with your ears.
Form that heart of unity and one.
We share on this stage.
Statistics, feelings.
And ourselves.
We stand with the belief to be you, to be heard, and to be original.
We all may be different, with opinions and beliefs.
At the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters.
We are family.
We ask that you join us in a magical journey with artists from around the world. Open your minds, let in the love,
and listen with your hearts.
We all want a better tomorrow. Be one.
Communicate and look out for one another. And then, and only then, will you find the world.
We will find peace in all the world.
You'll find the world. And you will find in this shining world. He was among us in every boy and girl. Many have been broken, red hearts turn black. Love will melt the ice and turn it back, and you will find the world. You will find the world. You will find the world. And when you find a place called home, where everyone is free to roam, a whole new world, a better place for our children's futures at stake. And you'll find, with music in your soul, laughter in your hearts, together we can grow a better place, with love in our soul. And you will find, together we can save it all. And you will find, and you will find a place called home, where everyone is free
evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I hope you're all ready because today we are going to have, guess what it is? Guess? Yes, that's right. A very special interview. Matter of fact, it's so special, it's going to be an exclusive interview. I hope you're all ready, everyone. Buckle in your seatbelts, because tonight on Angified Presents, we proudly present Robert Gregory. Yay! Hi, Robert. It's so awesome to have you with us.
Oh, thank you for having me back.
Absolutely. Oh, for those of you that are out there that are watching for the first time and getting to meet Robert, can you go ahead and just give the fans a little bit of information about you, a little bit of background, you know?
Of course. So, to everyone that has never met me before or has only just heard my name, hello, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. My name's Robert Gregory. I am a human being born in the United Kingdom, and really what I suppose what you want to know about me is I'm kind of this lovable weirdo guy that just spews out random crap every once in a while, make really bad jokes and stuff like that. But pure and simple, I is metalhead. I've been playing guitar since I was 19. I've been playing ever since then. I'm now 33, so that's really kind of worrying to think about that, actually. That's really bad in its own way. But I've been a metalhead since then, or way before that, actually, and will continue to do so until my passing days and so beyond. So here we are.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Hey!
Oh, Robert, I know like the last time you came, you were working on some great things. The album with Life Defies Gravity.
Mm-hmm.
There was also some other things in the works with some video games.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, like, has things progressed like from there? Because we have a new album you have here, which is awesome.
That is correct. You have heard this correctly. So, yeah. So, talking of the video game, so just to give a little recap on what happened before. So, my friend Jake, who I'm actually in the band Across the Kingdom with, is also a creator or game developer, and he's a business owner. So he's got his own game company, and he's developed the game series Mr. Hops' Playhouse, and they've increasingly over time have just seen more recognition. People have been playing it more, and he was working on number 3, the 3rd installment, I think start of last year actually is when I believe he started it. And back in the beginning of part of the year, he actually came along and asked me, dude, I need your help. It's like, okay, what do you need help with? And he was like, look, I'm making this game. I was like, yes, I'm well aware of this. He's like, yes, thank you, Captain Obvious, I know this. But he was like, can you please help me write a track? It's like, yeah. It's like, and it didn't really sink in and then he explained it to me. It was like, look, it's the final boss fight for Mr. Hops' Playhouse 3. It is the entity boss fight. Please help me write a track around this hook I'm about to send you. Are you fucking kidding me? You should have seen my face. Honestly, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be on a video game. And yeah, I listened to the track. I was like, yeah, perfect. I think I have something on this already. So long story short, I had a song that I'd already worked on for a different project, which was what it was going to be for. I was like, well, dude, let me just try it with this first. Like, let me put it in and see what you think. So then I sent the first draft to him. He's like, right, get that tightened up, send it to me. Fine. So done it all, sent it to him. The game was due to be released on the 1st of March. It did get delayed, actually, as a matter of fact. It got delayed by about 2 or 3 weeks. And then it officially made its first report on Steam, I believe on the 23rd of March. So the game was officially released. Everyone was playing it. And then about 2 or so months after I started noticing that people were uploading snippets or parts of the final boss track actually itself. Like, people were actually taking notice of this. There was one guy that actually... funny thing on this, actually. So Jake actually forgot to kind of privatize the files on Steam, so that when people download it, they got all the files. I was like, for God's sake, dude. And this one guy actually uploaded it onto YouTube, and I was just like, wow, that's incredible. And the comments that people were just giving were, oh my God, I couldn't have asked for a better reception. And so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to just jump in, comment on a few, be like, you know, hey, just let you know, I am the creator of the track. I did help write this. And people were like, dude, fucking yes, mate. When's the full one coming out? I was like, dude, I'm working on it.
That is so awesome. That is
thank
so
you.
awesome. And
Thank you.
it worked out great that you already had a piece that as soon as you said it, the idea clicked in, it was meant to be. And then, you know, to start taking off. So working on this album is striking while the iron's hot and really saying, yes, like, this is who I am. Like, check out more metal.
Oh, absolutely. Because that was what he wanted for it. Because when he showed me the hook part that he wanted in, I just listened to it. I was like, okay, hang on a minute. I think I have something for this. And it was just really ironic that the piece that I had put forward was exactly the same key and exactly the same BPM at the same tempo. I was like, what the hell? This is not a coincidence.
Meant to
and
be.
Honestly, it was just unfreaking believable.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. What I did actually find out though as well, because we did actually do a little video playthrough, which hasn't been used as of yet, but Jake has put up the official track on Spotify and YouTube, and on YouTube alone, last time I checked, it was about 13,000 times it had been listened to. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? I just thought, oh my God, this is incredible.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
I just listened to watch the comments, and I was just like, this is just an absolute testament to, you know, for people playing the game and really loving what they're listening to. I was like, I couldn't have asked for a better start for this. I was like, this is absolutely incredible. I was like, thank you so much, everyone. Seriously.
I love that. Oh, I can't wait. And you're just going to continue to climb and continue to climb. You got this new album coming out. You've got a lot of fabulous tracks. You've been doing some collaborations as well. You want to give some shout outs?
I do, actually. First and foremost, I have to give where my credit is due for Matt Layson, Matt Glass, for being an absolute staple for this whole album writing process. Like, without his guidance and for giving me pointers and giving me new ideas, the album wouldn't be in a position where it would be. And it's been one of those. It's been a long time coming, and really, if he hadn't come along, I probably would have still been sitting on probably half the tracks that I had written at the time, and probably nothing would have been done about it. And so I have to really give him a proper thank you for that, and big up to his wife as well, because she's awesome too.
At Glass Garden, everyone, if you want to go ahead and check him out, he is absolutely amazing and such a big influence, you know, to quite a few big artists on the lab and that are out there on all platforms.
Oh, definitely. He's got a much more detailed grasp on like the music theory side of things, and just how he sort of takes his approach to what he writes and how he wants to portray it. And it's just like, dude, it's like, if I can get as close to that, then I'm winning. So hats off to him, good sir. The next person I actually want to shout out, actually, you're going to hear a track of this later from her particularly, is Amy Locken, or Amy Service, as she also goes by particularly. She's just been absolutely incredible. Like, so, you know, we've gone back and forth with a few things before, And there's the one track that you're going to be hearing from her. There's a bit of a story behind it, actually, and there's a reason why. She actually played it on her interview before, and there's a reason why I'm putting it on here today. I'm going to say in its full glory, and you'll come to understand this later.
I love it. Yeah. I was wondering who was on that track. It's a little bit different to try and get the information. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let Robert surprise me because he does every single time. And these tracks are absolutely amazing. So I can't wait to share them out with everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, Robert, I'm loving it. You know, it's great because even if you listen to the last album compared to this album, you can hear your evolution and growth. You can hear how much harder and in depth you've gone into really the emotion and feeling what you're putting into it, you know? And I love that. Like, keep growing. I'm loving this.
Don't you worry, I will.
And don't you ever stop making music because I'm going to need my Robert fixes.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much.
All right. So you've got to tell me about this track, Let It Burn.
Oh, Let It Burn. Okay. Yes. So this is one of the tracks that is going to be on the album that me and Matt are doing. Just for a bit of a backstory context, I will have to just put this out as a disclaimer. So as I mentioned before, that it was going to be a collaboration of 4 people on this album. Because Matt and myself have invested so much time into this, and I've tried reaching out to the other 2 that we did have tracks worked on before, we've basically made it a 2-person album. And it's not in any way like a disrespect or anything. It's just basically because we've both agreed, or it was kind of my part of idea at the forefront. So I put this to him. I was like, with all serious respects, it's like we wanted to obviously give as much effort obviously as we wanted to, and damn well have we just. So it was only really fair that we kind of said, right, this is our album now. And we're just going to literally just go with it, see what happens, and just go from there. So that's pretty much where I just wanted to put that out first and foremost. So it wasn't kind of like being disrespectful or anything. It was just kind of the decision that was made for how we wanted to go about it.
That's kind of just what happens. Sometimes, you know, you start collaborating with somebody and then, you know, just that quick, you know, it's like, oh, well, you know what? This might not be something that fits this artist very well, but me and this person really, really mesh with this very well. You know, this would be foolish if I'd give this up.
Definitely.
I've got to go with it.
No, absolutely. I think at the end of the day, you got to go where your heart goes and, you know, kind of go with your gut instinct on it.
Yes.
But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way first and foremost before I said anything else. But now back to the topic at hand. So Let It Burn has taken quite a bit of a story development. So it was one of the first tracks that I'd ever written fully. It was actually one of the tracks that I'd written for my wife's college projects back in the day. So about probably 10, 11 years ago. She basically needed a 4-song track. I think I mentioned this before in the last interview, where my guitar tutor at the time really helped me out with all this. One of the tracks that came along was kind of like a very dumbed down rendition of what Let It Burn is. And again, it was one of those, it's like once I developed my skills as a guitarist and more of a musician and had a better understanding of how I wanted something to sound, then I went back to it and redeveloped it, kind of stripped it back and started again with the same format that I gave it. And then after a little while, I was playing around with guitar tunings, thinking which one's going to work best. And then I eventually picked, I actually ended up going with a drop B guitar tuning in the sort of key of, was it D sharp minor, I think I went with in the end. And I was like, yep, this is great. This, you know, it's pounding, this is heavy hitting. I showed it to Matt and he was like, yeah, let's work on that right now. I was like, okay, cool. Cheers, bro. And then, we obviously did our thing. We just like, yeah, I've got some ideas here. What do you think of this? Try it out. What's the worst that can happen? And I'm pretty sure like every idea we've thrown at each other has pretty much gone in to the track. It's like, oh, wow. Like he showed me some production elements. I was like, mate, if I knew half of what you knew, dude, I was like, seriously, I could have half done this already.
He is so knowledgeable. Yes. Oh my
He
goodness.
really is.
Absolutely incredible. If you've missed like Matt Glass's interview or Robert Gregory's first interview, make sure you check it out again. Oh my gosh. You can even hear the evolution in this track.
Yeah, absolutely. This is probably one of my favorites actually that I've written. It was the most like this sits on the same line as Fading Away, like in terms of how the riffs and melodies like actually intertwine with each other. Basically what I did is I just took the same approach as how I originally wrote the song and then just kind of made it more I guess defined in a way. And I had different approaches I wanted to try, and so did he. I was like, great, yeah, let's go. And
oh yeah, you guys literally carved the bark in the tree.
We did. We really did. Absolutely. He's such a genius, he is.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's check out this song.
Let's do it.
Oh, yes. We're going ahead. We're listening to Robert Gregory here. You can go ahead. You can find him. FanLab, Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. Make sure to check it out. We're going to go ahead and listen to Let It Burn. Crank it up, everyone. It's Robert Gregory.
Take consistent abuse. When every single event is an emergent threat, the world feels like it's on the precipice. Overwhelmed, let's tip the scale, 'cause I want the noise to end. Random sticks agony. I cannot common theme, so it feels quite normal to me.
absolutely amazing. I'm back
Oh, thank you.
with you. Let it burn.
Oh, that was all his idea. That was literally how he just kind of just threw it in and went, "What do you think of this?" I was like, "Yeah, I absolutely love it." Like
Yeah.
he was showing me like the bit at the beginning when he, like with his chants, and I said to him, "It's like, well, what about if you add that like a little scream, like a scream at the end, like it's just a scream line just before it really kicks in?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll try that." And then we just both agreed that it gave it a lot more power in that moment. It just really driven the song like right to the very start. It's like, yeah, it's gonna hit you in the face,
and it literally does.
It was just fantastic.
100% right.
Yeah.
Now, you were telling us a little bit about Fly from Mr. Hop's Playhouse through the final boss fight. Do you want to go ahead and fill us a little bit more with this information before we before we play this?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, it was a track that that my friend Jake obviously wanted me to write for this, and as I've previously mentioned, I've had the track already. All I really needed to do was just to retighten it up and send it to him. I had to send all the stems to him and everything. I was like, yeah, no worries at all. And we did actually go back and forth a couple of times because the original draft I sent in had a key change at the end in the final chorus. And he was like, "I'm really sorry, dude. Please, can you just bring it back to the original?" I was like, "Yeah, no worries. I'll just need to redo my guitar solo for it because because it ends on the new key." I was like, "Oh shit, okay, fair enough." But yeah, so no, it was a track that I'd already written for another project, which has been going around actually a little bit. But then I decided I just knew the moment I heard the hook that he sent me it just fitted it perfectly. The moment I put two and two together, and basically that hook became the new choruses for these songs for this one in particular, and I was like, oh, this just couldn't have fitted more perfectly if it tried. And it was just literally just the icing on the cake part. It was the chorus it never knew it needed. So I was like, wow. But yeah, it's like, I'm just trying to think what else I really did with this. You know, it was, I mean, some people might recognize it as say from people that I've worked with on this track before. But I can't really say much more because it's just one of those tracks that will always now hold a special place in my heart for being in a video game, which in turn has led me to actually working on another video game, not so well known, but for the same guy. He's just making stuff, and he recently sent me a little video to the game, and he's like, "Yeah, can you just write the intro track for this, please?" I was like, "Fucking hell, dude! What do you do in your spare time?" He's like, "I make games and I drink." Yeah, fair enough. He's like, "I like to have a good time." Me too.
That's right. That's what it's all about. Loving what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And no, that's pretty much how it's been. And actually, thanks to writing the boss fight music for this, for Mr. Hop's Playhouse, he's started another little project band called Neon Blood, which this is where Fly is found on Spotify under the band name Neon Blood. And there are a couple of other tracks on there that I've actually written the music for. And he's just obviously gone in, rearranged it how he sort of think is necessary. And yeah, so I kind of sort of got myself into another little project band, if you like.
That is so awesome. You keep climbing and climbing and climbing, and I'm loving this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing and just giving your all in your heart.
Thank you.
Really do appreciate that. And all of your stories and messages that you have behind your great compositions and the music and the lyrics that you write. Like, thank you.
No, you're very welcome. Well, actually, all the lyrics in this one is all Jake. Like that. This is all him, and this is him performing it as well. So he's the one actually doing the singing and the screaming, and he was the lyrical writer for this. It's like, yeah, and because obviously from the stuff he's done in Across the Kingdom, he himself has developed as a vocal musician over the years, and I have to give credit to him too. So for him having the grit that he's got behind what he does, it wouldn't be what it is without it.
I have to be honest with you. When I first heard it, it made me do a double take with my ears because I was like, "Is that Matt Glass behind that?" Because he's another one that has a phenomenal grit to his voice.
Yeah,
and
he does
do those incredible screams. But Jake, go Jake!
Honestly, that was all Jake on this one. This was all him.
I'm loving this. Well, let's go ahead. Let's check this out.
Go on, let's do it.
Yeah. We're going ahead. We're listening to Robert Gregory. This is absolutely fantastic. We're about to check out Fly, Mr. Hop's Playhouse 3, Final Boss. Fight! Wow. Man, even though you said don't let me fly, I just want to fly. That was incredible.
Oh, honestly, it was just the way he done it. It was just amazing. I just really like one of the first lines at the beginning. I think it's like I think you go, it's like, take your aim. We can see you through the trees. I was like, what the hell is that? But I was just like, that was just so comical. But I was just like, no, mate, fucking well done, fucking well done.
Absolutely. And he had to make it go to the video game. So what was ever in the video game, he had to make it correlate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did. Like, as I say, like the only lyrics that were in the actual game itself was the chorus part. And everything else was just instrumental. But obviously, we obviously made the whole song out of it. And
yeah,
he was just like, yeah, this is just an incredible piece of work. And as I say, everyone on YouTube that have seen it and commented it, honestly, I have not received so much love from it. It is absolutely phenomenal. So, it's just a massive thank you to everyone who's at least taken the time to listen to it,
Yeah, I think I'm going to listen again.
Yes.
I absolutely love it. Bravo. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I actually want to go check out that game now too, because if it's got music like that, oh man, I'm just going to want to play for the soundtrack.
Honestly, it is brilliant. Like, because the rest of the soundtrack is hardly anything like it either. It's literally that last boss fight. It's almost like it's the pinnacle of it, and you're hit with this just absolute belter in your face, which actually a few people have actually taken or have said that it almost like a Sonic Frontiers sort of like feel, because it's like you get to a major boss and it's just like you're hit with this absolute belter of a metal track. I was like, I'm not complaining to that. That was incredible. It wasn't even my intention, but I'll take it.
Yes. Oh, everything happens for a reason.
It does. It really does. Oh, Jesus Christ. I like what you just did there.
All right. Well, then you want to go ahead and you want to tell me more about
I shall. So yeah, so they say there's a reason. So there is quite a bit of a story to this. So I'll try and keep it short and sweet. But originally, myself and Mr. Sems, I'll call him, goes by Shadow of the Cell.
We underscores in between, guys.
Oh yes, all underscores in between his words. Yeah, I shouldn't forget that. Otherwise, you can't find him.
It's the Angified challenge.
Yeah, literally. And so we actually wrote the track quite a long time ago. When I was obviously quite active in the group GG's bands, he showed me this piano part that he played around with. And it's like, he was asking people, it's like, can anyone work on it? Or I think that's how it went down. But he came to me. It was like, look, I've got this. Can you have a listen to it? It was like, yeah, no problem. And it was the beginning part of it was what I listened to first. And it's like, okay, I can hear this. And then I think it was about a week or so later, he made it far more like developed. And it was just piano at this point. And I was like, oh God, this is actually really cool. It's like, dude, do you mind if I like have a little play around with it and, see what I can come up with? And he was like, yeah, go ahead. So I basically just kind of took the MIDI and then transcribed it into one of my piano plugins that I have on my Cakewalk, ran it in, and then I was like, right, okay, how about if I just like change these little parts here? Like, I basically just did, and I ended up just taking one part here, moving over here. It was just literal, just complete randomized shuffle. And then I got to a point where it's like, okay, I think this makes sense, or at least, in my sort of way of thinking. And then I showed it to him. I was like, look, this is where I've got to. And you're right if I just carry on with this. He's like, yeah, go ahead. And then I started adding the guitars, the strings, the bass, the guitar, the drums even, sorry. And then it eventually, when I got it finished, I showed it to him. It's like, I don't think I got anything from him for a little while. And then just like, all I saw was like happy faces, crying faces. I was like, oh my. Oh, it was just
That's
absolutely
beautiful
beautiful.
about collaborations.
It really is. It really is. And then after a little while, we were like, right, let's just fork it out and just, just see what comes of it. And Amy Locken comes in and obviously does her part and, comes out with, they say there's a reason. And I was listening to it, and this was obviously quite a while back, and I can only remember like when I heard it for the first time, it was just, holy shit, this is good. This is really, really good. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then
she did a beautiful job.
She really did. She really did. And then she put it on the interview, and I was like, oh my god, she's mentioning me again. Yeah. And then it wasn't really till after this, like a little while later, and especially after my interview I last did with you, that it actually really dawned on me the actual reasoning behind what she wrote. And when she explained that the story actually of like her son and stuff, and it really got me thinking. Like a little while ago, I was like, look, I really want to just get these out here now. They've been sat there for far too long. So I went to, I want to say Mad Hatter. I think Matt, his name is.
Mad Hatter 6?
Yes, that's it. Yeah. And I said to him, I was like, look, dude, I want to put this out for her. Because that was actually when I really, truly understood the reasoning of what she wrote. Because unfortunately, I did skim a little bit of her interview. So I did miss key parts out. And then I actually went back and looked at it again. I was like, okay, there's a real deep fucking reason for this. So I decided I took it upon myself and went, right, we're getting this out for her. And she, he went obviously did his mix and master for it. And then as soon as we got to a final part where we both said, right, yeah, we're good. I just went and did like a couple final edits and stuff that I thought was good. And then I ran it through my distro kids, so obviously getting it released. And I then sent a message to Amy. I was like, can you just keep an eye out on your email account just in a little while? There might be something coming through your way. Little bit of a joke here. I actually got her email address from Matt because I said to him, I was like, look, do you mind going and getting it for me? Because obviously, if I ask her, I'm going to be giving the whole thing away because then she'll ask me, what do you need it for? It's like, well, I can't do that because then I'll just ruin the surprise.
Right.
And so he got it for me. I was like, great, thank you very much. Ran it all on. And then that's when I explained to her, can you just keep an eye out? And then when she got it, she literally, I don't know what her thought was in the time, but it was a heartfelt thank you, because what I actually didn't realize, it was actually on an anniversary date of said event happening. And I had no idea that this was, what the anniversary date was or nothing. So it was by a complete and utter fluke that when I said to her, keep an eye out for the email, and when she got it, it was on the same day. And she literally just said to me, look, just thank you so much. I was like, wow, fucking wow. And I couldn't believe it was, I just did that by sheer dumb luck. How I managed to pull that off.
They say there's a reason.
That is extremely true. And then she said something to me in Hawaiian, and I was like, look, I'm really sorry. I really wish I knew what the hell that meant. But she did explain in the same message what it meant. I was like, I just really wish I could actually read that and actually understand it. I was like, I can't speak Hawaiian, nor can I understand it.
That's awesome. And that's the thing that music does for us too, because there's no language barriers when it comes to music. And someone can write something in a different language, and even though you can't translate it, how they feel.
Yeah, absolutely. And the messages I got from her afterwards, it just really melted my heart. I was just like, I'm honestly so happy that I was able to do her justice for that, because I just felt that when I understood the reasoning, I just like, look, I want to put, give her something out there so that it's hers. It's out there in the world for people to listen to.
Your wife is a very lucky woman.
Yeah.
She's got to be very proud of you too, because when we had talked, I know even the first interview, it hadn't been like a really long time that you were doing music. And, for you to pick this up and all the encouragement and love she's given to you, and then to see all these amazing stories and how, you're even connecting that love all around the world. Like,
thank
she's
you.
going to be so proud of you.
Honestly, because she always hears a lot of the stuff that I do first before anyone else. Like, because I always, whenever she's like downstairs, like where I am now, and if I'm upstairs in my studio just jamming away, if I get to something and I'm like, oh, I fucking like this, I will always call her up and it's like, look, can you just take a listen to this? And she has first listen on pretty much everything I do.
I love that. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead. Let's check out this song.
Yeah,
Amy
go on, let's do
Loughlin. If you missed her interview, make sure to go ahead and check her out. Check her out on BandLab. She's on YouTube, all over every platform as well. You're not going to want to go ahead and miss her.
Big up Amy Loughlin. I love you, girl.
We're going ahead and we're talking with Robert Gregory on a very exclusive interview. And we are going to go ahead right now and check out this song. They say there's a reason. Oh my gosh. She did such a gorgeous job.
She really did.
Oh,
Like, absolute hats off to her. Like, she gave that a lot of energy and a lot of meaning behind what she wrote. And yeah, just hats off to her. And I hope that we did her justice, and hope we did her proud by, putting it out to the world, and just hope that people can listen to this and think, yeah, you're not, it's not easy, but you've got help. It's there. Like,
you're not alone.
no, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And it actually might be closer to home than you realize. Even though we're so far apart, like, for you and Amy to do a collaboration, she's all the way over in California, you're all the way across the sea, so to be able to do a collaboration and to share those moments and the gifts and the hearts together, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And, as I say, I hope I've done her justice by, do it for me, Matt, Sam, for doing what we've done. Just to give her that sort of feeling that, we are there for her, and, and vice versa. Like, if she wants us to come to her, like, but, and get together and do all these kind of things, then, we're only either like a phone call away or a message away. Doesn't matter.
Like, we're family.
Exactly that.
Robert, tell me about Closer to Home.
So, Closer to Home, it's a really random track because I just kind of wrote it off the cuff. Like, I was sort of going through my repertoire of music that I've written, and I wanted something to kind of like really punch you in the face. And it's a weird analogy, but
it was punching one of those, people.
Well, it was one of those, right?
But it's punching with love.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. But I wanted something because a lot of the music I've done, like, I've not programmed blast beats in my drumming, and like, I'm no drummer by any means. So obviously, if I've misprogrammed something, then obviously God help me. But I was like, I've not done blast beats, so I was like, fuck it, let's do some blast beats. And it's funny enough because this track in particular, I actually wrote for someone else ages ago, and it just got to a point where I never heard from them again. So I was like, okay, well, it's just sitting there. Yeah. Let's just see if Matt wants to do anything with it. And, so I showed him it. And after I'd done my, like, obviously tweaks, put some blast beats in and stuff like that. And then he was like, yeah, let's work on it. And again, classic cliche story between me and Matt. He was like, what about this idea? What about that idea? How about we try this? Yes. Let's just do this. And one of the cool parts actually was there's a certain part in it where all the guitars and everything and drums are taken away, and all you're left with is the synth and his voice. And it wasn't originally in there, but then when he showed me that part, I was like, well, what about if we tried it like this, just to give it a bit more of a dynamicism? And I listened to it, I was like, oh, fuck me, this is like mellow, I like it. And it's like, and then it just brings it back, and it's like, yeah, we're keeping that in there. Don't you fucking dare take it out.
It makes it stick out.
It really does. Like, it just gives it a different contrast to how, to just the whole song in general. Because I feel this one, it's a hard-hitting track, but then it does give that element of surprise when you hear it, and it's like, oh God, it's like, I didn't expect it to go like soft for a minute. And then it just comes back again. It's like, yeah, that was the way Matt showed me. And we both said, yes, we're keeping it in there. and this is also another track on the album that will be coming out soon.
Better make sure, watch out for that album coming out soon. I'm looking for all these hits. Can't wait to hear them as they hit the radio stations, and they're in the video games and everywhere else all over the land. Well, it's from my home to your home, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. It really is in this case.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's get a little closer to home.
Go on, let's do it.
We're going ahead and we're listening to Robert Gregory, and we're going to check out Closer to Home.
So much been stuck, been spinning in circles, making the same loop my whole life. It's about time. Make change, make waves, and wake up. No more excuses left to say. I need to change. If you never grow, you'll never know what gets you back. If you let go of your suffering, running alive into
Wow. Absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Woo! Man, I can't wait to hear this new album coming out with you in Glass Garden. When did you say that's going to be released?
So we haven't given an official date yet because
Okay.
we are still obviously working on the finer details of it. I can give you an update to say that all the tracks have now been officially written. We are just now in the process of getting them mixed, mastered, and I need to work out a promotion plan. He's already started, so he's ahead of me on that. But yeah, so we're basically just in the process now of doing like the final stages of it, if you will. So yes, and the album, we have named it the world's not the When Worlds Collide.
Nice.
And I kind of put it towards him for this, and my reasoning for it was, as I think I mentioned this before again in the previous interview, where it is essentially like he's in a different country, I'm in a different country, we're making an album, so it's like, you know, it is essentially two worlds from two different sides of the world, combining powers and just giving it everything they've got. So that was kind of my reasoning why I decided to go with When Worlds Collide.
I love it. You're taking those colors and just all over the place with this. It's beautiful. I'm loving this.
Thank you. And like it actually, it's a bit of a funny story, or just a little small one, but like all the tracks that we've named, like he's sort of like written all the lyrics, and I was like, I just looked at the lyrics and went, how about this for the title? He's like, so this is why you picked the titles. It's like, oh, really? Oh, cheers, mate. I was like, thanks. Just a little joke out there. Sorry, Matt. I had to throw that one out there for you, pal.
Well, then you got to tell me about Nothing Left for You, because, you know, I've heard all of these great things, and I can't believe you don't have nothing left for someone.
Well, again, like this is another one. It was very similar story to Fly, that I'd already written this, and you know, some people have worked on it already and what have you, and I felt that this one, again, I wanted to put this on the album. So I said to Matt, I was like, look, have a listen to this again, see what you think, and you know, go with it if you think is any good. And he was just like, yeah, mate, I've got this, don't worry about it, like just leave it with me. It's like, yeah, don't worry, mate, this is why I handed it to you, because I know you'll fucking smash it.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, it's like obviously the way again, the topics he chose is all him. Like I had nothing to do with any of the lyrical writing whatsoever. Like I gave him complete free reign on this. And so every topic that he's chosen and everything, and all the lyric melodies, that's all him. Like, so, you know, fucking kudos to him as well, like for just being a lyrical genius.
Yes. You guys got to make sure you check out At Glass Garden. Check out everything he's working on, everything he does. Like you said, he influences many, many artists out there. DJ Tatius is another amazing artist that does a lot of work with Matt Glass. Just watching the evolution over the last year has been incredible.
Oh, absolutely.
Robert, I've got to say, within this last year, you've been really just evolving and really growing on the gifts that you've been given. If you were to go ahead and give somebody out there, you know, an artist out there that maybe was in your shoes a year ago, what kind of advice would you give out to them?
Do you know what? I'm actually going to stand true of what I said last time, and it still holds true to me to this day, is don't be afraid of any criticism that is going to be thrown at you, because if you get given criticized, you know, a feedback or anything like that, don't be afraid to take it on board, because the last thing you kind of want to do is put yourself in a position where you're beating yourself up over it, and you know, you're just then wallowing on what could have been, when you could have just been taking action from what they've said implemented what they said, and actually it could work out fucking much better for you. And I will hold true to that to this day, especially on the experiences I've had. From when I mentioned that I did the Gear Gods song contest, like I got roasted the shit out of me. And I nearly didn't recover from that. But then it just sort of hit me. It was like, well, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I need to learn to actually just understand like the reasoning of why they gave me the explanations that they did, and actually just understand the feedback, because if I don't do that, how am I going to improve? So no, as I said, time and time again, I stand true to this: is take heed of what feedback and criticism you get, and if you don't understand it, obviously ask them questions. Just be like, look, I'm not sure what you meant by it. Just get to a middle ground, and then once you get there, then use it, because that will be your greatest weapon in music making. Because if you don't learn from your mistakes, you can't grow as a musician, I find.
That's right. Teach and learn, evolve from each other, and be true to yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
If you go ahead and you take a piece and you don't put yourself into it, that shows 100%. Yes. And if you take a piece and you put your all into it, those emotions and feelings, they will resonate, and we will feel you. And, if you took a chance on something and it's experimental, hey, we all like to experiment and play, but that's the only way we learn.
Exactly. And as I say, like, it holds true as well that there is only so much one person can do at the end of the day. Like, with the creative mindset that I have, I can only go so far. And again, this is where I have to give credit to Matt here, because with his creative knowledge and music theory and everything that he has instilled on, bestowed on me, like I wouldn't have figured out some other things on my own either. So again, I have to give him props for that, because again, it's putting two heads together. And the little phrase I mentioned before, 2 heads is better than 1, 4 hands is better than 2. It still holds true.
That it does. And when he says he's got nothing left for you, it's only the lyrics in this song, because they've got a whole bunch more for you, so you better be ready.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, trust me, there's more where this came from, that's for sure.
Let's go ahead. Let's check it out now.
Go on, let's do it.
Woo! Yes. Here's the song, Nothing Left For You. Let's make sure, check it out. Like, share, and subscribe. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Here we go. absolutely amazing. Make sure to go ahead, look for Robert Gregory out there. You can go ahead, you can find him. Yes, on like every platform out there. You know what I'm talking about. That's how to spell it. Look for his name out there, Robert Gregory. Wait for the new album coming out and look for him on BandLab, Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. Hit that notification. Oh, yeah.
Raw.
Love it, love it, love it. Oh my gosh. This
awesome.
is
Thank you. Thank
fantastic.
you so
That was like
much.
electric.
I like to try it that way.
Electric.
I just give out what I can. That's all I can do.
Well, it definitely shows. It's absolutely brilliant. You guys, seriously, it's ear candy. Total ear candy to me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Like, as I say, again, if it wasn't for Matt, I wouldn't be where I am today. So thank you, dudes. Like, you absolute hero.
Well, you guys are my heroes. You know, you guys give me fabulous stories and messages to listen to, fabulous compositions. The artwork that you guys produce out, you know, from our works in progress from very early on and rough drafts to see the evolution. It's a gift, and I'm definitely blessed. Thank you.
No, you're very welcome. Anytime, honestly.
Now, I know we got to all keep our eyes open for this new album coming out. I do have a snippet of When Your Sins Invade.
Oh, yes.
I have a small snippet coming, and this is from your album, right? That is yet to be released.
It is correct. It is the intro track to the album, which I originally made for a little jingle contest for DJ Tatius. And I actually, when I made it, it was the heaviest part of it. It was only like a 20-second bit. I was like, what if I just extend this a little more? And then I did. And then I showed it to Matt. I was like, dude, can we just throw this in as like an intro? And he's like, yeah, go on, let's fucking throw it in. Go on, let's just beef it up a bit. I was like, fuck yeah, go on, dude. And so this will be the intro track to our album, and I just randomly called it When Your Sins Invade.
Well, we're gonna make our intro our outro tonight for our interview. How is that?
Sounds good to me.
Whoa. You guys make sure to go ahead, like, share, subscribe to Robert Gregory. We're going to get taken now with still just a little minute snippet for you guys to just get your whistles a little wet for the upcoming album coming out to be announced on the to be determined date. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. You're not going to want to miss anything coming out. I'm telling you. Fabulous. Let's go ahead. Let's check out When Sins Invade. Everybody, make sure to hit those notification bells. Not just the follow, like, and subscribe, but those notification bells as well, guys. Because those notification bells are going to tell you when something's been released so you can keep an eye on all of your favorite songs and artists. Don't forget to check out everything, because you're going to find Robert Gregory's stuff on Spotify. You're going to find some of it on YouTube. You'll find some of it on SoundCloud. So keep your eyes peeled. Here we go. Yay! Robert Gregory!
Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or